And Toronto police say they are taking an all-hands-on-deck approach to shootings in the city after a long weekend marked with deadly gun violence.
Yeah, it was East End, West End, North, South. It was all over. CP24's Andrew Brennan is live outside Toronto Police Headquarters this morning. Andrew, you said earlier you were at most of those scenes here. That was an atypical weekend in the city, though.
It is an atypical weekend for a few reasons. One, over the summer months, going from the May 2-4 weekend to Labor Day, it's usually on long weekends that we do see the I don't want to say the most proliferation of crime, but what we tend to see is when we have these incidents back to back to back, they are usually happening in summer months. They're usually happening during long weekends, and that is unfortunately what we saw this weekend. And overall, police responding to 11 shootings in the span of the long weekend here in Toronto. Of those, 3 were fatal. And when you talked about it being east, west, north, south, well, with these shootings, they took place in 10 of Toronto's 16 different police divisions. So just about every part of the city was touched by violence, and particularly gun violence this weekend. So in terms of what we saw, that's one thing. In terms of what we can do to maybe stop this from happening in the future, well, according to Toronto Police, when they talked about this all-hands-on-deck approach, it's not just about the rank-and-file police officers. It's not just about homicide detectives. It's also about people at home and what they can do to help. Listen to this.
If you see something that doesn't seem right, if you know someone that you believe has a firearm, please call the police or Crime Stoppers at 416-222-TIPS. If you see something, say something. Over the weekend, Toronto Police Service members seized 6 firearms and laid charges against 6 people in relation to them. Up here on the screen, you can see the firearms that were seized in one weekend alone in Toronto. And this is not an uncommon thing we see from week to week.
Now, in terms of what the Toronto Police Association, representing rank-and-file police officers, the union, is saying, what is happening in our city? It asks in a tweet. Over the weekend, we experienced 11 shootings, including 3 homicides, 6 guns seized, the latest homicide victim 15 years old. Our members, the TPA is saying, make arrests and seize firearms, often risking their lives when doing so. They also have been doing more than their part to prevent gun and gang violence in the first place. And it ends with another question. Can you help us? Now, you did hear what police are asking to see. If you see something, to say something. We'll talk later on a little bit about what Toronto's seeing, Nick and Jen, versus the rest of North American cities, because as much as this is very, very concerning, this is not just something happening here. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, no, that is important to keep in mind. Nonetheless, very sad and scary. Andrew Brennan reporting live outside of Toronto Police Headquarters. Thank you.